Hey there, I'm Matthew Georgiou, the lead designer of GoVenture. I'm really excited to tell you about GoVenture Entrepreneur. It's the most realistic and comprehensive small business startup and operation simulation ever created. We've been designing business simulations and financial simulations and all sorts of simulations for over 20 years. We've invested millions of dollars in building, testing, and refining our simulations. And GoVenture Entrepreneur represents a culmination of everything we've learned over these years, serving millions of players around the world of all ages and thousands of educators and instructors who use our simulations as part of their curriculum. Let me tell you about GoVenture Entrepreneur. GoVenture Entrepreneur is made for people of all ages because we have different levels of progression within the simulation so people can progress to the level of comprehensiveness that fits their profile or your curriculum as an instructor. So we start everyone with a lemonade stand, then they level up to a kiosk or a mobile truck, and then they run a full business and potentially franchise their business. Let me show you each of these steps very quickly. The lemonade stand simulation is a great starting point because not only does it help you learn the fundamentals of business, but it also serves as a tutorial for the kiosk and full business. So when we start each level of business, we actually have a walkthrough tutorial that walks us through naming our business, choosing a logo for our business, and then following a variety of steps, which I'm going to go through very quickly here just to save us some time. So I'm going to choose a design for my kiosk. And we start off with a certain amount of cash we can see in our smartphone. And now the walkthrough tells us to buy 20 of each of these ingredients that we need to make our lemonade. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we've got some inventory. Now we've got to set the recipe for our lemonade. We can go sweet and lemony or sour and watery or somewhere in the middle. Of course, the sweet and lemony, customers like that better, but it costs us more to make, and we can monitor our cost of goods here. There we go. Now we've got our recipe. Let's set our price. We can set all sorts of prices. Of course, if we set our price too high, we might lose customers. If we set it too low, we won't make enough money. All these challenging decisions we have to make in running a virtual business are the same as a real business. And now that we've got our price, our inventory, and a recipe, let's open for a business. And here we go. We can watch customers coming to our lemonade stand and actually have to mix the lemonade. Let's go ahead and do that as quickly as possible to make sure we can keep up with these customers. And we can see little icons that represent the customer feedback that we're receiving, whether customers are happy or unhappy or somewhere in between. And you can also see little icons to the side of the emojis that represent things that customers are thinking about in terms of our pricing and our speed of service and so on. Now, I've actually run out of inventory. Look at that. I've run out of inventory, which is one of the challenges of running a business. And customers are still coming, but they're not going to be very happy in a moment because they cannot order lemonade from us. So this daily animation, this simulation will run for about a minute or so. You can see I was making sales and missing sales and monitoring what was happening with our customers. And now we have our results for the end of the day. So I can see how many customers I've served, how many I've lost, how many products I've sold, my sales revenue, cost of goods, gross profit margin. And if I had too much inventory, I might end up having it damaged or spoiled. So that forces me to make sure I can forecast accurately and order just enough inventory to serve all my customers, but not have too much left over. So you can see even this very quick, very simple simulation of running a lemonade stand, there is some deep business concepts happening in a very basic experience. And you may be thinking now, well, how do we know what gross profit and cost of goods means if this is our first time learning about business? Well, we actually have built into the simulation micro-learning module. There are over 140 micro-learning modules that cover every aspect of business. You can see them here, and instructors can pick and choose which of these modules they want to make available to your students. They can click on the subject and then watch a short video. Every module has a short video. Generally, it's only 1 or 2 minutes long, very brief. You watch the video, then you do a review and reflect on what you just watched in the video, and then you do a short quiz, and you are scored with 1 star or 2 stars if you complete the quiz. And every single module is scored that way. It's all aggregated together to create an overall score, and this is all automated. So a lot of the things that instructors have been doing in terms of lecturing in class on specific topics is already built into the simulation, and you could choose to use the resources in the simulation. Again, there's over 140 micro-learning modules. It takes several hours to complete them all, and students can go in and out of the micro-learning while they're playing the simulation to learn the specific concepts that they may not completely understand in the simulation itself. And then you also have, as an instructor, other resources like printable activities that you could also assign as part of the experience. Now, we've completed our first day of our lemonade stand simulation, and now it resets to the second day. You can see now we're in Tuesday, day 2 in our smartphone here, and we can make our decisions all over again. So we can go to the grocery store, purchase inventory, we can adjust our recipe and experiment with something sour and watery or more sweet and lemony. We can adjust our price and see how that affects our profitability and our net profit. And we can keep experimenting day after day after day. And eventually, as we become more successful and we gain more cash, we gain more profit, we'll be able to start a second lemonade stand in a different part of the neighborhood, and then eventually a third lemonade stand in a different part of the neighborhood. And because we can't be in 2 places at once, we'll actually be able to hire employees. These are our virtual friends in the simulation that we can hire to run our individual lemonade stand. So we're essentially franchising our lemonade stand business. So you could play this game, this lemonade stand, for many hours and have much learning and much fun just in this basic experience. But we're only just getting started. Let's move on to the next level. And while we move on to the next level, let me show you something else that's really cool. We have global leaderboards. So students at any time actually go to the global leaderboards and compare their performance to the best in the world. And our global leaderboards are anonymous, which means that student names cannot be seen, so you don't have to worry about privacy, but students can see their own names and instructors can see their student names as well. So it's an amazing opportunity for students to compare their performance to the best in the world. And by the way, what you're looking at here is the student dashboard. And from this dashboard, this is the online version, from the student dashboard, students can actually play an unlimited number of simulations. So you can assign students as an instructor to play many simulations, different business types, and so on. Okay, so now we've leveled up to our kiosk business. Similarly to the lemonade stand simulation, we also get a walkthrough tutorial for the kiosk business. And if we were playing our lemonade stand and running our lemonade stand business in this upper left area of the city, this was actually the neighborhood we were in where my mouse pointer is. But now we've graduated up to the rest of the city, so we've got a bigger market for our kiosk business. All right, so this is really cool. You actually have different business types that students can choose from. Your ice cream, costume jewelry, hot dogs, tacos, popcorn, clothing, electronics, and we continue to add new businesses as we go. So let's go ahead and choose ice cream as the initial one. And here we can choose our name and logo again, so we can call it maybe Icy. It's a good name for our business. And I'll choose this logo, which kind of looks like ice. And then we can choose a design for our kiosk and a location for our kiosk. And you'll notice now we actually have 5 different locations in the city where we can run our kiosk business. And we can bring up consumer profiles. So now we're getting into much more depth here in understanding marketing and location and consumer psychographics and demographics, where we could see information about our customers and the traffic patterns, so we can understand what times of day might be best to run our kiosk business as well. So you can see we're getting much more comprehensive now than the lemonade stand businesses. So let's go ahead and choose the shopping center for our first location. And we can also again choose a design for our kiosk. Let's choose that green one. Now the other thing to know about the city is that once I become successful with my first kiosk, I'll be able to start a second kiosk in one of the other locations that we saw a moment ago. And then eventually I'll be able to start a third kiosk. And the third kiosk is a mobile truck. And that mobile truck you can move to different parts of the city every single day based on weather. You can see the weather up here. Other factors that you might consider what's going on in the city and try to maximize your sales and profits. So let's go back to our company screen. The other information we have here is our founder information, so we can see our health. So this simulation, both the kiosk and the full business, actually tracks how many hours we're working. And if we work too much, then that can impact our health. And we also have the option of doing a one-page business plan and journaling about our business. Some instructors like students to journal about their business and then present their experience as part of their assessment. You can do that all built into simulation. We can see information about finance and legal. So now what we have to do is we have to go to our products, and we can see our products. So the kiosk business has 3 products. Lemonade stand just had 1, the lemonade. And here we now have 3. When we get up to full business, we could actually have potentially dozens of products. So here we have ice cream sundae, ice cream cone, and ice cream bar. We can see the inventory items that are needed to make the ice cream, various other metrics that we haven't got any information yet because we haven't started yet. And we can adjust our selling price for each of the 3 products at any time, and it allows us to experiment with pricing and profitability. Here's our inventory items, and we can see how many we have and how they're being aged over time. And if we hold inventory for a long period of time, its quality actually degrades. So again, very realistic. And in this simulation, we have 3 suppliers to choose from. We have low, which is low price, lower quality ingredients. We have all good, high price, highest quality ingredients, and Value Mart, which is somewhere in the middle. And to order more inventory, we simply choose our supplier. We can see what the supplier offers, and then we choose a quantity of each item to offer. We can also do a little quick click here on the quantity discounts, and then let's go ahead and place that order. And our order arrived immediately in the kiosk simulation. When we move up to the full simulation, the order takes time to arrive. So now we've got our inventory. Let's just go to operations for now and set our time. So we can choose what time to start working and what time to finish working. Now, since I'm in the shopping district, I'm probably going to start a little bit later. Let's go 11 a.m. and stay a little bit later as well into the evening, because I think people will be shopping later. Remember, we had customer psychographics and demographics information that we could use to understand traffic patterns and other information based on our location. So let's go ahead and open for business now. Now, similar to Lemonade Stand, we can now see our customers coming into our kiosk. And now, unlike Lemonade Stand, I don't have to click anything to mix any product. Instead, here I should focus more on what's happening. And every time you hear that ding, of course, that's a sale. Every time you hear a little bloop, that's actually a missed sale for some reason. And I can monitor my customer feedback. And remember, we have these little icons that gives us even more insight into what customers are thinking. So an icon that appears on the left-hand side of the emoji is something that's negative. It's a negative feeling. And something that appears to the right is a positive feeling. Now, we're not getting a lot of positive feelings here so far, but I can see things like this little purple clock, which tells me my service is too slow. This is all in the user guide, by the way, where you can find out more information about this. So now at the end of the day, we can see how many customers we've served and lost and products sold and sales revenue. Very similar to Lemonade Stand, we have the same information here, damaged and spoiled inventory items. And now the simulation resets to the next day. We can see Tuesday, day 2. And I can now play the simulation for as many days as my instructor allows me to play. And the instructor with the online version can control how many days you want students to play. Now, as I continue to run my business, I'll eventually need to hire employees. And here we have multiple employees, different experience levels, skill levels, reliability, salaries for the employees. So we have employees with really great experience, but also cost more. And I can mix and match which employees I want to work. And as I run multiple kiosks, I can have different employees at different kiosks helping me run the business. I can also conduct marketing. So if I want to increase the number of customers coming to my business, I can conduct advertising, I can invest in signage and appearance, I can also improve the quality of my products. In addition to the ingredients, I can have better packaging and other things like that to improve that. Then we have a finance area as well, where we can see our payables, our receivables, we can see our seed financing, and then our reports, where we can access everything that we need of being successful. Now, one of the things I didn't show you with the Lemonade Stand is our performance report. So here it is in kiosk, and the performance report gives us a quick snapshot of how our business is doing, and not just with a couple of metrics, but with a whole bunch of detailed information and analysis. So we can see the summary information in terms of our skills and revenue and so on. We can see each of our business locations and how the financials compare to each location. And then we have our skill score. And our skill score in kiosk is made up of 10 different metrics in which we're measuring actual behavior and decision making in the simulation. So it's not just profit, it's actually how well you are generating revenue and your profit margin and your health and the customers you're serving and customer satisfaction. And you can see even inventory spoilage. So it actually measures behavior and scores on every one of these metrics and rolls them all up into what we call a skill score. The Lemonade Stand looks similar to this, except there's only 2 metrics in the skill score because we're keeping it simple. It's an introductory level. As we move up to the full business, it's going to be even more comprehensive than this. And then look at all these reports that we now have access to. Balance sheet. Great looking balance sheet, very easy to follow, very easy to understand, very much like a real world balance sheet. Income statement, same idea, our P&L is all here. All these amazing reports, cash flow. We can even look at things like customer feedback and see what kind of positive and negative feedback we're getting. Everything we'd ever want to know is available in these reports. And if you're teaching accounting, we even have general ledger and general journal. And Kiosk has another amazing feature called manual accounting. So if you're teaching accounting and you as an instructor turn on manual accounting for students, what they have to do is actually post their debits and credits every time they incur a financial transaction, like buying inventory, recording sales, paying employees, presented an accounting window where they have to choose their accounts and their debits and credits. And they do this multiple times while they're running the simulation. So it teaches them accounting in the context of running their own personal business. It's personalized accounting, which makes it super easy to learn and understand. And if you don't know what a general ledger is, if you don't know what a general journal is, or a balance sheet or an income statement, remember, we have micro-learning modules built into the simulation that you could assign to students, and they have access to all that information with videos and reflection slides and quizzes to help them understand. Now look at the amazing learning that's been going on in just our 2 introductory simulations, the lemonade stand and now the kiosk. An amazing range of learning for business. There's no better way, and we still haven't even reached the full business. Let's go ahead and take a look at full business. All right, so here we are. Let's start our full business. Similar to the other business types, we have a little walkthrough that builds upon what we've already learned in the lemonade stand and the kiosk business. And we can now choose business type. So we have casual restaurant, we have a fitness gym, we have a sandwich restaurant, sort of like a Subway or Quiznos. We have a cafe like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts or a Tim Hortons. We have a Mexican restaurant like a Chipotle. We have a pizzeria. We have an ice cream parlor like a Baskin Robbins, a department store. We have an automotive shop, and there's more businesses coming. We have online businesses like similar to Amazon, and much more businesses are being added as we speak. So let's go ahead and just choose a casual restaurant to start. And the business types have 3 levels of difficulty. So you could assign a more basic experience for students or the much more advanced experience. And the casual restaurant is actually one of the more advanced because it has so many products and inventory items we have to manage. So similar to other businesses, we have to name our businesses. Let's call it McD, and then we'll choose a logo, something that looks maybe like a plate or something. There we go. And we can choose our location. So we have 3 different locations. And again, we have to look at consumer profiles to understand consumer psychographics, demographics, and traffic patterns in different areas of the city. Now choose, let's say, the Main Street location. So we're going to do that. And you can notice now it's a much bigger city as well. So much more traffic, many more customers available. So then we go to the operations, and you'll notice our walkthrough is stepping us through everything that we need to do here. So it's pretty simple. So we have to choose a site for our business, and let's go ahead and choose the economy site. The site has different rents, different leaseholds, different capacities, and we can upgrade our site as we go along. We have equipment that we have to buy, and again, we have different levels of equipment, different pricing, whether it's new or used, maintenance costs. Let's go ahead and choose our starter equipment. Then we can set our schedule. So this is where we would set the operations of our business. We can actually control the operations every single day of the week. And when we hire employees, we'll be able to actually schedule them individually every single day of the week. It's incredibly granular and detailed. We have all sorts of startup documents and decisions. So the students are aware and introduced to this concept of starting a business means you have to do business registrations and tax IDs and permits and fire inspection. Now, we don't go into much detail into any of these. It's just to introduce students to understand that these are things they need to consider. And then you as an instructor can take a deeper dive in these particular areas if you felt it fits your curriculum. We have much more detailed financial information here. In fact, we have payables and receivables. So here you actually have to pay your bills. In the other 2 simulations, the lemonade stand and kiosk, all of your bills were automatically paid out of your cash. But here you can actually manage your cash flow even more granularly by choosing what to pay and when to pay it. And you can see here I can put maybe 25% down or 50% down or 100% down on each particular bill that I want to pay. So this allows me to manage my cash flow much, much better. Now, of course, I can't go too long without paying my bills because eventually I'll go bankrupt. I do have to pay my bills and I'll be forced to pay them at some point, but I can defer the bills. But there are consequences to deferring payment because we have a reputation metric in which you're measured, and part of that reputation metric is how quickly you pay your bills. So let's keep going here. All right, so now we have a clock. So this is the other cool thing about the full business simulation. In the lemonade stand and kiosk, the clock was stopped. You had as much time as you wanted to make your decisions for the day, and then you click the button to open for business. Here we actually have a running clock. So now there's a real sense of urgency in the student, in the learner, just like real business owners have. They don't have all day to do all the things they want to do, and you have to manage things based on this time. So everything works based on this clock. So if you set that your business is going to open at 9 a.m., well, when 9 a.m. hits, your business opens, customers start coming. If you're going to close at 6, business closes at 6, customers can't come anymore. And you can control the speed of the clock. We have a little slider here. You can also click on the clock to control the speed. So you can have the clock running faster at certain times when you're making sales, for example, and slower when you're doing things like reviewing your financials and your reports and ordering inventory. And so it allows you to control that time really effectively. And to get through the simulation, this one takes about 2 hours to do a month in business. Some students will get through it faster, some will slower, but generally 2 hours for a month in business. And so let's take a look at some of the other aspects of our business. So our products, notice how many products now. We're running a casual restaurant. We've got all sorts of products. Every product can be priced differently. So you can see here, I can set the price. I can see what every product is made of, which means I have to manage my inventory. And notice a lot more inventory items to manage here. We have different suppliers, so a lot more suppliers to choose from, and not all suppliers offer all products. So for example, let's say I want to have premium quality meats and artisan breads. I can choose this supplier which specializes in those particular items. And so I can mix and match my ingredients and my inventory to match the type of business that I want to offer, because I can choose to offer a lower cost, quick serve type restaurant in this particular example, or a more premium, high cost type restaurant experience. And so I can individually choose where I want my business to be. Once I order inventory, so not only choose a supplier and quantities, but also shipping, because the inventory doesn't arrive immediately. It actually takes some time. So I've got to schedule all that and manage my time properly. Let's jump over to employees. And here we can look at job applicants. And we see we have many job applicants with different levels of work experience and education. And in fact, if I take a deeper dive in any particular one, I can interview them by looking at specific skills that they offer. And I can negotiate salary offers with the employee. So let's go ahead and make a job offer for this employee. Now notice that she has an expected salary of $20, so I'm going to match that. All right, so she's accepted my offer. Now she's my employee, and I can see her morale and other information here. I can also implement benefits like health insurance or dental insurance or paid sick time. And of course, everything has a cost associated with it, and I got to make sure I can afford to pay my employees these things. And then I can move on to training. So as I have multiple employees, I can actually invest in training them, which will increase their experience and their skills. And so that's another aspect of this simulation, why it's so incredibly detailed. And we can review HR reports to see how employees are doing. And of course, if employees aren't working out, I can let them go and try to replace them with new employees. But I have to consider all the money I've invested in training as well. So there's a real balance of what has to happen here. We also have an incredibly detailed marketing experience where students can monitor their business reputation, their advertising effectiveness. They can implement various programs for signage and appearance, customer service, product quality, market research, implement a sale, conduct advertising in terms of product land and brand advertising, or sales promotion and discount advertising. We can review all sorts of customer information here. And then before we can advertise, we have to define our targeting, messaging, and media, just like in the real world of marketing. So here I can identify the consumer groups that I'm going to target. I can also identify the keywords I'm going to include in my messaging and my advertising that will hopefully resonate with those particular customers, and the media that I'm going to use to distribute my message, whether it's TV and video or an event or sponsorship or social media. And the cool thing here is as I make selections, because not all these selections are going to be the best. For example, if I choose specific keywords, as I run my business, I'll get feedback that will tell me whether I'm on target with the right keywords that I'm choosing here. For example, let's say I'm having a quick serve type business. It's not really a gourmet business. Then maybe using the word gourmet may not be the right term to use to reach my particular consumers. And so the simulation is smart enough to know which of these terms matches the consumers you're targeting based on your decisions in the business. So incredibly detailed marketing. Back to financing, we've got our payables, our receivables. We've got to look at our payroll. We have our seed financing, and we have loans. We can actually take out loans and pay interest on the loans to help grow our business. We even have stock. We can sell shares to investors, and then our responsibility is to pay dividends, which is a percentage of profit, to those investors. So we can grow our business through debt or equity financing. And similar to kiosk, all sorts of detailed reports available here as well. And so students can access everything they need. Detailed performance report with very detailed metrics and skill scores measured. So we hope you'll give it a try. It's an amazing learning experience. There is truly no better way for anyone to learn how to start a business and manage a business than using a simulation. And we think GoVenture Entrepreneur is the best simulation for that experience. Thank you. And as good as GoVenture Entrepreneur is for students and learners, it's equally as good for instructors and facilitators, because we provide you everything you need to make this an amazing learning experience for you and your students. We have a very comprehensive instructor guide with step-by-step details and videos for everything you need to know. We have an instructor dashboard if you're using the online version of the program, where you can actually customize specific aspects of the simulation. We have micro-learning, as I've shown you. We've got over 200-page learning and activity book in PDF format that provides the fundamentals of everything students need to know about business. It's a great reference guide. We have over 50 printable lessons and activities, which you could either print on paper or actually do as PDF input forms. We have many videos to supplement the learning that's happening if you want to take a deeper dive in any particular area. Videos that we've sourced from TED Talks and Stanford University and various other sources around the internet. We have built-in assessments, all automated. We have award certificates. We have user guides, everything that an instructor needs to implement this in any curriculum, whether it's a short curriculum or a full course. You can make GoVenture work for you. Finally, I think you'll also be quite surprised at how affordable GoVenture is. Regardless of what your course and program needs, you're going to find an option that works for you. I encourage you to find out more about GoVenture at goventure.net. Thanks for watching.